Are you wearing headphones?
Yes, earphones. I have to because this. All right. We're live. Hello, everyone. Good evening and a warm welcome to all at mufc Red Devils NCR. This is Delvin, and I have with me my OG gang with me. I have Saimbai and I have Street Jesus in his royalty, in his godliness, and in his aura right here along with us. Good evening to you, gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. And here we are, and we finally come to an agreement, and it's here we go. Wout Weghorst is all but officially a Manchester United player, a 6-month loan from Burnley. Uh, the loan agreement with Besiktas and Burnley will be cancelled, and we have to pay a fee of around 3 million euros, if I'm not mistaken, to Besiktas, and then the rest of the deal will get over the line. We were linked with I'm out of this world at the moment. It's a outstanding signing as far as I'm concerned, and I cannot wait to see what an impact he has at Old Trafford. So, with that being said, Joshua, let's start with you. I mean, you have a soft corner for Burnley when Sean Dyche was manager, and you've seen him play up close and personal because you have a special interest in Burnley, especially during the time when Sean Dyche was manager. So. In that 6 months, it was not the best 6 months of his career. Let's be honest. Honestly speaking, at Burnley, he had a very tough time. But there were certain games where the best of Weghorst came to the fore. I mean, looking at those performances, it was like this is the reason why Burnley paid so much for Weghorst's services at the end of the day. So, what do you make of Wout Weghorst signing for United? What does he bring to the table?
I mean, obviously, like you said, like when he was playing for Burnley, I think all of us had him in the FPL team also at that point of time. But like, yeah, obviously he didn't like have as much returns. I think like the problem that, like when Moyes had Holler also at West Ham, where they were using like these tall players as target man. I think that was more or less the issue at that point of time. I don't know how and like what, like how Ten Hag is planning to use him. But yeah, I mean, like obviously he was interested in coming to United, like quite like Igalo. You remember like that Jan signing where the player was like motivated to come and like perform, and then I mean, like Igalo, I'd never seen him, like even though I follow Nigeria also, I'd never seen Igalo play that well. So I'm hoping that like these 6 months for Wouter player is also like as good as that. But I don't know, man. Like, what do you guys think? Like, basically, depending on like how we play right now, where it's more fluid and like it's not like that physical upfront. It's more like basically pace and interchangeability. So, do you guys think like he'll be a good player? Obviously, I'm going to be biased on this one and say like it's a top signing for us.
It is a top signing actually. So Wout Weghorst is not just about the raw physicality that people portray him to be. Actually, he's a much more well-refined and a well-rounded striker, which is very, very visible in his record at the Bundesliga. I think there was a season where Wout Weghorst was absolutely on a roll. I mean, you can see the average over here. He averaged a goal every 2 games in the Bundesliga. Add to the fact that he has 20 assists in those games. That comes to around 80 goal involvements in 118 games. That's not a bad return by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, same like Munawar Bhai says in the chat, that he was desperate to be involved in a Manchester derby. While it is only a 6-month loan, it's pretty certain that we've got another player who's a character. I mean, not a lot of people who, apart from the hard-nosed and who are well into the football connoisseur side of things, know much about Wout Weghorst until he shot into prominence in that quarterfinal against Argentina. I mean, you could see that his movement was giving a host of problems to Argentina. I mean, who, let's be honest, had midgets in their defense, and I mean, Wout Weghorst towering over them. It was only a matter of time before he actually made them pay, and he did. So, same by we've been linked throughout. We've been linked to Wout Weghorst, like some Memphis Depay, Alvaro Morata, so on and so forth. Apart from all these strikers who were linked with us at some point or the other, including João Felix, who's also gone to Chelsea. God bless him. With that being said, what do you make of Wout Weghorst and United under Ten Hag? I mean, because there is a slow evolution to the style that Ten Hag prefers to play. And do you think that Wout Weghorst brings that style to the fore, and it opens up new avenues for many other players in our side as well?
See, I what I'll say is look at Sebastian Haller. The profile of that player was somewhat like what we are getting now, what Vegas. So the transformation which was made by ATH to that player after his shuttle performance in West Ham, because of how West Ham play. It was not about the player; it was about the how the team is set up. So from when he went from West Ham to Ajax, the transformation we saw in him, I would say it's the same with Burnley and Manchester United, because Burnley have that since Sean Dyche left, the Burnley became a very defensive team, and there was no place for Weghorst in that team, because he's not sort of a player who would just run behind a defense when you throw a long ball or something. He has to be involved in the play. He likes to drop deep, receive the pass, and get the wingers into play. So that is what I am looking forward it, because that is the play which ETH likes. ETH likes to bring his wingers into the game, let alone his top man. So I really have high hopes from him. Yes.
So currently, even in Besiktas, Weghorst has had a rather fruitful season. He has had 8 goals and 4 assists in 16 games for Besiktas, and he is one among the highest scorers in the league. So if you look at if you look at the goal scoring charts in the Turkish Super League, it's all those players who we believe the streets will never forget. In which Wout Weghorst is one of them, Batshuayi is one of them. There are a lot of players who are the streets will never forget type of players, and they are leading the goal scoring charts in the Turkish league. But apart from that, uh, how does this? Is now we always wanted an out and out target nine since this season began. Now that we have got one, we have the likes of Rashford, we have the likes of Martial, we have the likes of Anthony, who are flair players and attacking players in their own right. Not exactly strikers, but they fill the mold as and when it is required. So, Josh, do you think Weghorst's presence in the middle helps Rashford or the likes of Martial, to unleash their full potential by playing off the back of a striker? Like a natural striker running, and these guys running off the strikers, because Weghorst is one of the best hold up players in world football, one of the best, if not the best. His ability to link his runners, hold the ball when his back is to the goal, in the games that I have seen, is absolutely exceptional. So, what do you make of Wout Weghorst being that focal point? And we have these speed demons who are running in. I mean, do you think that this is like the men of mayhem unleashed?
Uh, nice reference there. Basically, like also like Kushagra is saying that like I think Kushagra wants to know about head. So like basically, yeah, I mean, this player can definitely take headers. But yeah, I mean, on a serious note, I don't know if he's going to start for us. To be honest, like like the way we've been playing, I don't know if ETH is going to make like a lot of changes. But obviously, off the bench, like you now have like another attacking option that can come in. I'm not sure if like basically because now Sancho is also back in train, like back to Carrington, right? Like he's been training and whatever. So I'm not too sure if like Vigor starts for us, but like if he does, then obviously, yeah, like there is going to be like a key man who's going to like basically attract the defenders to him so that like the other wingers, even some of the midfielders have space. Like basically the way Bruno and Ericsson have been playing. I probably it will definitely give like spaces to these kind of players to come in and play, but I'm not too sure if he starts for us. I'm like that's like my assumption because I'm assuming like if you get a player in Jan, not a lot happens, right? Like you don't get them to play, and now especially when Carabao and FA Cup also like we are in like the final stages of it. Not too sure if we want to kind of make that much of a change, but he'll be like a good option for us for 6 months, especially knowing how like with like Marshall's fitness, with what Sancho is going through, and like Anthony's dip in form, I think it's a good option to have. But just also wanted to ask you guys, like basically, like whenever we talk about Bundesliga, that option of Bundesliga tax always comes in everyone's head, right? Like basically, apart from Haaland, we've not seen a lot of players come from Bundesliga and grab like the league by the balls.
Haaland and De Bruyne, both
De
of them.
Bruyne, yeah,
Yeah.
majorly both of them. But that
Technic-
also, yeah,
Technically, the Bundesliga tax doesn't apply on Weghorst because he's coming from Besiktas and not from the Bundesliga side. So I don't believe in the Bundesliga tax. I mean, because this guy has a pretty decent stature. I mean, there are a lot of concerns which speak about having issues with his speed or his ground recovery pace and all of that. But he is one of the fastest runners. His height is very deceptive. That man can cover ground with ease. So Saim, by speaking about that, Nikhil puts out four key aspects that he brings to any side. In this case, it's us. He brings pressing from front, and yes, he is one of the best pressers off the ball. I think there was a game in when he was in Burnley against Wolves. He had 55 or 57 pressures, which was among the highest. Then he's comfortable with his back to goal, like we earlier put in. He has off the ball movement in the box, which no one does. Let's be honest, no one does. Even Martial, for all the people calling him Drippy Martial or Ice Cold Martial, his movement in the box is practically downright shit. And the fourth and the most important thing, which this side currently has in spades, is character and aggression. We have Martinez, we have Casemiro, we have Malacia, we have Dallo. Even Varane, for up to a certain extent, shows a certain bit of aggression and flair. I mean, we have another player who brings absolutely everything and anything to give on the pitch. So he has all the qualities that make him a Ten Hag favorite. So, how do you think these aspects improve us to refine our overall game? Because you can see that there is layer by layer development in the side with each passing game. Saying by, you think that adding Weghorst will improve our value with the attacking sequences that we make, and will we finally get someone who finishes those chances? Because even in the game against Charlton, Garnacho could have easily had 4 assists, but we were not able to finish those. So with Weghorst arriving on the scene, do you think that we at least improve on our current shot conversion?
Okay, so from the first part where you mentioned about the presses, so there's a stat I think which was shared among every one of them that in top five leagues in 21-22 season, uh, if any player has played more than 15 games, so Vegost had 32.2 pressures per game. Is this stat which is the highest in top five leagues? So which is more than Traore and uh, many players who can who have played that much amount of games in 21-22. So yes, there is no doubt he can press. And speaking about the chances which he gets, so the stats speaks for themselves. You don't get these stats of goals scored and even the assist. I will also count the assist because it is the goal involvement. So given these stats, I don't think there would be a problem in the chances that we are creating, and to finish those chances, the stats speaks for themselves. I have really high hopes, and I think with the amount of games, especially the congestion which we will face because of the see, the Crystal Palace game has been rescheduled just between the City and Arsenal game, and now the Leeds game has to come up. Then we have to have the FA Cup game. Then we have to have two legs of the Nottingham Forest game. So the pitches congestion will lead Vegas to play, and we will definitely get something more than from him, not just something, but more than something from him.
Yeah, I mean it's very well rounded, his attacking assists. I mean, he's almost involved in almost a goal every 2 games in the Bundesliga as well. As far as scoring is concerned, you factor in the assists, then that rate gets much more higher. Even in the Eredivisie, he was in a similar stature, and now even in the Turkish Super League also, it's the same. So now the issue is that whether Weghorst will be registered quickly enough so that he faces the Manchester City. He plays the Manchester City game on Saturday. Now, our hope is he does, but on the flip side, Eric Ten Hag will not give any player minutes until and unless he has 2 or 3 full training sessions with him. So I think he might not be involved in the Manchester derby altogether. But Joshua, what are your thoughts? I mean, if at all, you have Weghorst play in the Manchester derby in any capacity, not just from a your starter point of view? Would you even bring him from the bench in spite of knowing that he doesn't have a lot of training sessions under his belt in the Ten Hag way?
Yeah, I mean, off the bench, anyways, you would love, like, if you've got an asset, you might as well, kind of like give him those minutes, especially if you're like in a position where we can, kind of close the game, or like basically there's like we are chasing the game somehow, then you take like the chances that you have. So in that case, like why not? Why not basically give him a chance and like see what happens, because he's going to be motivated to show his value to the team as well, right? Like basically to kind of figure out like basically what his role is going to be, and especially with like Martial not being like the one who will give you like 100% for the whole 90 minutes. Might as well have him if we are not having like anyone from the bench coming up, and like off the bench also, technically if you want like someone with experience, there are not a lot of players that are left on the bench who have like that sort of experience to come in the game and change the game for us, or like basically just like maintain the game for us also. So in that case, I would, if he's fit, if he's ready, and he's been playing, so it's not like he's basically going to like start from scratch. So in that context, obviously, and he's like had a taste of EPL, right? Like he's played these teams before, so he would know like basically what is the task ahead of him. So might as well give him a chance. If we have him on the bench, then let's definitely like give him a chance. If unless it's like a comfortable victory, because Pep has mentioned that he's thinking some radical things, which is going to be some stupid shit, uh, most more or
I
less.
was I was coming on that. So instead of he trying something ridiculous, let us do something
Yeah,
ridiculous and
why not? For a change.
just unleash Weghorst on the defensive line.
Sure.
Because I still find that City have that a little bit of susceptibility in the air, and I think someone like a Weghorst could take full advantage of that with his physique, with his aerial gifts that he has. I think he could easily create harakiri in that box, and with the amount of slippery customers that we have, who are absolute pace merchants on the ground, this could be an absolute cookout if we speak about it. Pep says he has planned something for us. Yes, we also have planned something for us. It's the Wout missile which will come on you. So so you believe that you would be happy to get Weghorst involved as a substitute. Saimba, what about you? What are your thoughts on the Weghorst situation? Does he play the City game? Would you mind him come on as a sub, or do you think the City game is too early for him?
I won't mind him coming on as a sub. I would like him to be in, on the bench, and like to see him just tormenting the defense with his ability. So yes, as the reports are coming in that he would be traveling to Manchester today to get the contract signed. So if he comes in today, then definitely he would be available for the derby. So hopefully we see him on the bench. Also, to mention the Pep's ridiculous idea which he has. So yesterday, I think City did not have any shot on target, which was the first time after the Champions League game of
Liverpool.
2018, Liverpool 3-0. If you remember, after that Champions League game, the next game was Manchester Derby, which we won 3-2 after coming back. So time to repeat this shit again.
Do you think there is a chance?
Oh yes, we are gonna win 3-1.
It's the meme that I'm talking about. I mean, I think that was the something ridiculous which he was talking about. Score not taking any shot against Southampton. So good job, Pep. Good job. Like, I mean, he did something ridiculous. I mean, absolutely, giving us a pretty clear way to get a trophy finally. With the we play Nottingham Forest in the semi-finals, and we hope that we are favorites at this point in time. So let's hope for the best. So speaking about getting registered, for all those who do not have an idea, in order for Weghorst to play in any capacity in the Manchester derby, Man United have to register him before 12 p.m. UK time. So because that's when by tomorrow, because that's when the Premier League offices close down for the day on Friday. So if at all Weghorst has to get involved in the Premier League, he will have to be registered by 12 o'clock UK time tomorrow. So that's 5:30 Indian Standard Time. So we have a lot of time, and if, as reported, Weghorst does arrive in England today, then I think we have a 90% chance of registering him by the deadline tomorrow, which means that he could be involved. So speaking about Weghorst in a further deeper capacity, uh, Joshua, we know that Eric Ten Hag is a mix of pragmatism and realism. He uses proactivity and reactivity based on the situation of a game. He reads the game very well. He's very well versed at what situation does he have to tinker with his lineup, a tactical change, a formation, or whatnot. Uh, so with Weghorst arriving, how do you think Ten Hag intends to use him? Like, will it be a straight up battering ram sort of a striker, which Chris Wood used to do in Burnley, and what Burnley thought they would be getting out of Weghorst for that matter? Or would it be a much more refined sort of a striker? You know, a person who moves with grace, finesse, does those intricate link? Is that intricate player who is involved in the build up all the while? Or what do you make of Weghorst's role under Ten Hag, and how do you think would Ten Hag actually use him?
Um, like I said, basically not sure of like basic because like the players that we were linked with, like right from Felix to Morata to this guy Woot eventually. I don't know basically what was the the profile of the player that he wanted. Did he want like players who could create play, or did he want players who could like basically just finish chances? Because one of the things that like I think the three of us had discussed long back, not on this chat, was the fact that with Ronaldo, what you get is basically none of these players that we have are like foxes in the boxes. So they wouldn't like be there for like those poaching chances as such. I think that is still missing. Like the Anthony goal right now, right? That was like a clear indication of like right players being at there at the right point of time. But like we've not seen that throughout the season. So maybe he would want him to kind of like basically get the pressure onto him, attract both the centre backs onto him, let the wingers be one on one with the fullbacks, and then basically see from there like basically how it's kind of shaping up. So I'm thinking more on those lines, like how you would have your old school number nines as such, but not like basically for the long balls, but also to kind of like attract attention and create chances. Plus like Nikhil, Opta Nikhil, like he rightly mentioned some time back as well, the chances about like basically him pressing, him creating those opportunities for us, um, I think that is going to be pivotal, the way he plays. And that's something that we've been missing also of late. Like you don't expect pressure from Marshall at all. So this is going to be like some sort of a new change for us.
He's called Mannequin Martial for a reason, Josh. That is why he has to live up to that name. He's like he doesn't want to live up to the other good names that is there, but Mannequin Martial, yes, absolutely, that's what I want. So Amit Bhai says that Martial would be on the bench and Wout would start. Pretty fair assumption. Again, once again, it depends on how Ten Hag intends to use him. Does he want to start him right from the outset? Depends to be seen. So, in the Athletic, there was an article stating that how Weghorst is shot into prominence, and apparently Ten Hag has a very close relationship with Van Gaal, and I think Van Gaal might have a certain role to play in this. And I think it's about time that Van Gaal gave us an assist, considering the fact that he literally cock blocked us from signing Timber. Uh, but on the flip side, I think not signing Timber was another blessing in disguise. So, Sainda, what do you think about this Dutch connection? I mean, it is like, do you think Van Gaal was the one who could have, pushed him for a move to this direction around playing for United or something of that sort? Or do you think that it's just that Weghorst wanted the move, Ten Hag has admiration for this player, and then just things went off in the right direction?
So speaking of Van Hal, what I think is he only comes forward when he has to do shithousery. If he does something good, he won't be on the camp to do that. Only when he has to do shithousery, he will be doing it on the camp to show that he is good with it. So yeah, and he is good with that. So all the Timber news which came out was just because he wanted to, and if he has any involvement in this deal, it won't come out, as far as I know. So yeah, see, Joshua knows what I'm about, what I'm trying to say. So yes, and speaking of Ten Hag, so what I have seen, see, every manager has this, you can say biasness towards the players, towards the players where he is coming from, basically, or the nationality of which he is, in, because he sort of knows those players. the technicality which comes from those players. If ATH is Dutch, so he knows the technicality of the Dutch players, how they have been, trained or brought up from those leagues. So every signing till now which he has brought, even for say Malaysia. So he knows how to work on Malaysia. He knows what Malaysia will bring to us. Although he is just above average as now, but we know that if he has brought him, he has seen something which we aren't seeing yet, but we will definitely see. If he has brought Anthony, Anthony has many flaws, but he has that technicality to his game. He has that, that spark which we get to see sometimes, which he has to just bring it on consistent basis. So bringing him Dutch players, I don't think is a problem for us at all, if ATH is backing that signing.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. It's fair enough. I mean, considering the fact that we've given the manager a bit of a free rein in this transfer windows, at least, I think he's done a pretty good job of identifying the right players and identifying the right characters, so to say. To put it much more broadly and in a bigger perspective, like yes, the talent is there in all the players for visitor, but what we needed was characters. So, Josh, how do you think that Vegas 6 months are going to pan out? Like, is it going to be Igalo, which was an overwhelming success, even though it wasn't? I mean, while he did not score a lot of goals with us, he made sure that there was a focal presence whenever it was needed. So, do you think Weghorst fulfills that role with us, or has an even better season compared to that?
I'm hoping a better season, man. Also, do you remember that Igalo goal? I'm hoping for a Jan signing to like basically, kind of like take that goal and like go slightly above. So I'm hoping for like a bicycle kick in the Manchester City from boot, basically to kind of like level it. But yeah, obviously like dude, like you've got a better player than Igalo, and like with a better pedigree, so you would expect like him to do slightly better. Hopefully these 6 months like he can win the trophies for us, because I think now is when like we'll need the team strength at the max, because we are the only English team that is there competing in like four different
Correct,
cups. So
precisely.
I think in that context also, obviously you would want him to do really well.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about bicycle kick. I don't mind a 35-yard volley as well. So anything, as long as it goes top pins, it's fine by me. So Vijay Bhai says Pep Guardiola says that it was a joke. I don't have ridiculous thoughts ahead of the derby. It will be a normal thing. People take the sentence a different way. I mean, coming from a guy who calls his player overweight and then sexy the next week, I mean, it was expected. Not this is I'm really not surprised with his U-turn.
And
So
he would have said this because he had already done the ridiculous thing against Southampton. So he's left for us.
exactly. So Saimba, what are your expectations from Weghorst in the 6 month loan? Do you expect it to be a overwhelming success, of good success, or somewhere around the Igalo range?
Igalo? No, 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 no. Don't take Igalo name and Vegas name in the same line, please. He would be far, far better than Igalo, I guess. Yeah, I hope. Not I guess, I hope. And also, I think this signing would be a perfect fit for us. What we need, e- even though it's a 6 month deal, it will be a perfect fit for us. We need a number nine, traditional number nine, and we have got one. So,
All right. With that being said, we've gone well in depth and discussed about our new signing, his strengths, his weaknesses, his overall ability, and how exactly will he be in the manager's plans, and how exactly would he be a stylistic fit for our team. Uh, all of us here hope that he is an overwhelming success. And based on the preliminary looks of it, I think he has everything that is needed to be a success in our side. He has the charisma, he has the style, he has the willpower, and most importantly, he has the manager to help him and to help us achieve what we want to achieve. And with that being said, thank you so much, Joshua and Saeem, for being a part of this discussion. And speaking about Weghorst, we would want to have a Wouter signing by the end of the season. So Guys, thank you so much for joining in on stream. Thank you so much for putting in your 2 cents about the Weghorst signing on the comments as well. It was a very interactive experience, and we would keep on having this every single day. So do like, share, and subscribe our channel for daily United content. We've been rolling out content daily on a daily basis. So we would appreciate your love, your support in this with us. We are also equally active on our Instagram and on our Twitter. So do drop us a follow there as well. And I say this on every stream, and I will say this today as well, that every day is match day on our official WhatsApp group. You do not want to miss out any updates on that, so you can join our WhatsApp group as well. Apart from that, we've been speaking about the derby a lot. So keeping in mind about the derby, MESC Red Devils NCR are hosting a screening of the Manchester derby at Smash Dwarka. So we will want all of you all to join in large numbers and make this a memorable experience, not only for us but for the side as well. And hopefully we could cap that off with a victory. And apart from that, we also have a website which is solely dedicated for the fans to make it an immersive fan experience. There is a lot of cool stuff that you can go ahead and check out. There are a large number of predictor contests. Joshua has been dominating that area for quite a while, and it is about time we need someone to challenge that dominion and that supremacy. So, if any one of you fancies a piece of that action, you can go ahead. There are a lot of quizzes you can check out. There's a blog section that you can check out. You can go ahead and have a fun time in that website. So please go ahead and give that a look as well. With that being said, this is Delvin along with Joshua and Sam bidding you goodbye. Do have a lovely evening. Please take care of yourself, and we will see you with a new episode shortly. Street Jesus, do give them your blessings. And with that being said, this is goodbye.